And we are live. Hi, Pencil Clixer. How are you doing? Today we are going to be painting. Just going to readjust the camera a little bit. We're going to be painting Tiri, the architect, but I also built the other miniatures in the box. So this is the lady we're going to be painting. And it's Tiri, the architect. Let's get her. Oh. There we go. Really cool model. She's been undercoated black and then zenithal sprayed with a sort of khaki gray or green gray maybe. And that's what we're going to work on today. But I also built and wanted to show off Castore Fervent, or like I like to think of it as him after having had a pizza, after being hungover. But I also heard the nickname Twunk for him, with the other version being the Twink. A little curious, but very funny. I mean, I don't think either of them are perhaps very hot, but they're very cool and scary. And this one is ripped. Pretty big. Bit of a size difference there. And then we got the Unseelie engine. Almost a little bit of a 3D puzzle, but not with many pieces, actually. I think this engine part is 4 pieces, if I remember correctly. And the robot is like 4 pieces or something like that. So it's really fun to put together. I think the middle piece was a tiny bit fiddly for me, but it stuck together really well after not too long of fiddling around. Castore is super easy to build, whereas Tiri's got she's got a lot of swirly cloth, which was certainly manageable, although you need to be a little bit careful. Nothing insane though. Nothing. Nothing like those ghostly samurai, infamous Urami keyword models. Goryeo. So we're going to be painting this new master model called Tiri, the architect. And I am going to start off by base coating her skin, or rather sort of a base coat, but we might leave a little bit of the brown in some areas to imitate the artwork a little bit, in which she has some kind of warm brown shadows in her skin. So Store can hang around here in the corner of the screen, maybe. And I'm gonna see if maybe, I think Dark Sea Blue from Vallejo should look pretty good for her her skin. Yeah, and I think, no, actually, instead of leaving any of the khaki behind, I'm just gonna cover all the skin portions up and maybe do some glazes to get some of that warm brown in later. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Now, just noticed a tiny bit of maybe dust, maybe cat hair, maybe the same thing. I'm just going to gently remove that. Summer times, so the cat is certainly doing its thing. There we go. I think I promised last stream that I'm not gonna paint the next model in a spooky green color, and in a way, I guess Tiri skin color is a little spooky green, but it's not the same color, at least, as what I meant when I said that. It's gonna be much more toned down. Oops. Slight little hiccup there. You can just erase that with a little bit of water. Just quickly dabbing your brush in some water can make it act like an eraser. If you're quick enough. Especially if you're watering down your paints. Pretty intricate model. There's a lot going on. It's very cool. Lots to look at, but it's nicely balanced, I'd say. I suppose one might consider actually painting the stuff separately. I decided to glue it on. Perhaps slightly regretting it. I am sure we'll manage anyway. I think there's certainly an argument to be made that the arm and the staff could be left off and painted separately. I like to avoid sub-assemblies, but sometimes they are very practical. I feel like, I mean, obviously, there can be some difficulty reaching some areas if you're not doing sub-assemblies, but also sometimes sub-assemblies can be very annoying when you're going to glue everything together, because you'll get if you get a situation where you need to do gap filling, that's not as fun to do after you painted the model, and you get a better sense of where light should be, where highlights should be placed, and stuff like that. If you assemble the miniature, there's also the danger of, if you're a little slightly clumsy, perhaps, like I can be sometimes, I feel, there is also a risk of getting glue in the wrong place. If you accidentally get out too much glue or something. So currently she's looking a little drab and boring, but that should change with some highlights. And I'm really kind of moving over every area more or less twice with thinned down dark sea blue paint to get a nice even coverage. Although if there are perhaps a few areas of the paint being a little see-through, you can always cover that up later, or it can just add to a perhaps translucent skin effect. Skin being translucent and cool and all. So that's drying, and I'm thinking stiff neck. We want to, I think I want to paint her trousers. Gonna grab a little bit of black paint and mix it with some Steel Legion drab, but mostly perhaps black and gonna try and work some of that mix into most of this, creating some shadows to lift the spray as a base, the sprayed undercoat as a base coat. Pimsel says, nice to see someone else paint. It's too warm and dry air here. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's not too warm here. It's been very rainy yesterday, but today's cloudy and sunny, and the weather is pretty mild, I'd say. Been a bit all over the place, the weather lately. Hi, Spilled Paint Pot. How are you doing? Nice seeing you here as always. I did pull the curtains away to get some more light going, but now the sun went out of the clouds and light is a little too bright, perhaps. So now I'm getting a little blinded almost by it. Getting in some lunchtime painting. Awesome. What are you painting? I ate a late lunch and I ate quite a lot, so I should not get too hungry if Spiridon comes in here and talks about food, which he does sometimes. Trying to finish up Sarita. Awesome. Which version? Which sculpt are you painting? Mm-hmm. There's so much cat hair right now. So I think I just got some in my nose. Rough. Version from our current box. Or in a lot I bought and look like fun paint. Yeah, who doesn't like painting a scary witch, right? I've got one of the old metal serrated lying around. I should paint her sometime. Like the old alt version. It's the one I got. So her little top and the trousers are going to be this dark gray, and then the swirly cloth in her jacket are going to be like a light tan or an off-white sort of. Or the avatar model. I wonder, because there's a Swedish web store which still stocks some of those. I can look, see if they have it. Cameras and lamps all in the way. No, seems like they don't. Oh well. It's worth a shot. Oh, I found a used version, a painted one. So it's a painted metal model of the right Avatar of Fate. If that's interesting for you, I can send you a link. You could always strip it. Yeah, cool. I am not entirely sure of their shipping options. It's a Swedish store. Oh, right. But you could have a look. Maybe you need to use some Google Translate. If I can help in any way, just maybe send me a message later on Instagram or something. No worries. Just know they stock some of them. The old Avatar models are pretty cool. Got Hoffman and Marcus lying around. And I promised to sometime paint a friend's avatar Nicodem for him. Okay, so still a little bit so excited to find Nicodem. That's a really cool model. Nicodem is, I think Nicodem is one of my favorite avatars. That one is really cool. I tend to like the Arcanists, perhaps the least, which was a little disappointing since they were the ones I played back then. Well, I still play them, but Avatar is white metal version from ME1. Yeah, you could have like, basically they're kind of like the title masters, but you transform into them mid-game. it was some story event thingy where the avatars could they manifested some super duper extra powers and got a little different. It was to mix up, I think, how you played the old masters and give them a little bit more flexibility and variation. All of them are white metal except Avatar Hoffman, who was released last and in plastic. Because the expansion after the avatars was the Ten Thunders one, and that's also when we're transitioned to making plastic kits. So like the last avatar model was Hoffman, and it was made in plastic. And nowadays they tend to be used as stand-ins for the emissaries. I think there's still like official proxies for that. Spill says, I don't know how Lady Justice avatar doesn't tip over. She looks so top heavy, but I love how faithful the sculpts are to the stories. She doesn't tip over because she manages those scales very well. No, I don't know. Maybe she does tip over easily. I've got Marcus's avatar, and it's strange and perhaps not the most impressive, but it has grown on me a little. A peculiar thing with it is that you can see his nuts, which is a little interesting. Yeah, there's some very characterful models. So I mixed some bone white into the dark sea blue to highlight Tiri's skin. She's pretty ripped. Didn't really think of that before. Tiri, she might be sort of a mage or an architect, but she's also pretty strong. It's a very expressive emoji. Yeah. She does CrossFit when not on the table. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Did you guys hear of the bear controversy with Baldur's Gate 3? That one makes me think of Marcus a little bit. Speaking of beastly things and, well, an actual nut in that case. Didn't hear about it? Well, there are romance scenes in Baldur's Gate 3, and there's a male druid who, if you romance him and during the love scene, he apparently, spoiler, so slight spoiler, so if you don't want to hear that, cover your ears for a little while. He accidentally shapeshifts mid-love into a bear because, like, he loses control and stuff. Bearfucker, do you need assistance? Is that I don't get that reference. But yeah, and then you can apparently tell him like it's okay. You can tell him don't worry about it and stuff like that. But you can also be like, hey, maybe just stay in bear form. And in that case, the camera will switch to a squirrel staring wild-eyed and horrified, dropping his little nut while there's some rage. Here's a line from a movie. What's Super Troopers? I first thought of Starship Troopers, but I don't know what Super Troopers is. I'm dying over here picturing all that. Yeah. It's on YouTube if you want to see it. I think they showed it. They had it in some sort of showcase. Some people were really upset, apparently. Yeah, I thought of ABBA as well. Super Trooper, birds are gonna find you. No, it's not the one, is it? It's a comedy film about law enforcement officers who are very bad at being law enforcement. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, but also a pretty fun movie. Yeah, Larian, who developed Baldur's Gate 3, they like their little jokes. I wonder if Fox News are gonna catch that thing. Like, I remember when Mass Effect was new and hot, they lost their shit over interactive space sex with aliens, which wasn't very interactive. But I would love to hear their report on how they're trying to turn young gamers into barrel-focused perverts or something. And I'm not trying to shame anyone here, but it's a funny scene. It's made for comedy. Now I got that ABBA song in my head. And I'm not a good singer, and I'm not gonna force you to listen to my singing. I also I don't know the full lyrics for a single song. A single for a single song. Um, if anyone's wondering what strange drink I'm having, I put frozen cubes of mango in my Coke. They are no longer frozen, but they are still yummy. I think it's really good, actually. Yeah, squirrel's funny. I'm looking forward to that game. I way back when Baldur's Gate 1 was new, I was recommended it because someone said, "Oh, it's like Diablo but outdoors." It's just a really cute way of describing it. It's not entirely true, but that's how I got introduced to Baldur's Gate, and it was a difficult game for me to understand how it worked with all the stats and rules, but it's the beginning of a long love affair with the Baldur's Gate games. So I was a little skeptical at first when it's like Larian are gonna do Baldur's Gate 3, and because I was afraid it was gonna feel a bit like not like Baldur's Gate. A little bit of a vague fear, but you know, there are similarities between Baldur's Gate and Larian's hit games, Divinity, but there are some differences as well, especially tonally, I feel. But I'm still pretty hyped. It seems good. It seems very ambitious. So, of course, when there are such impressive, ambitious RPGs coming, it's very easy to be like, imagine if there was a Malifaux video game. That'd be cool. Obviously, video games tend to be very expensive and risky affairs, but one can dream, right? Have you played the Owlcat Pathfinder games, though? I've sunk several hundred hours into both Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. Also, hi, Elise. Hi, Pearl's future wife / Elise. Nice seeing you here. The Owlcat Pathfinder games, is that like, no, I haven't. I know there are Pathfinder games. What does Owlcat Pathfinder games mean? Are they different versions of Pathfinder? Because I know of Pathfinder, the pen and paper RPG, and there being a digital version as well. Owlcat is a studio. Oh, okay, that's a very good name for a studio. No, I haven't played them. I've pondered it. Issue has just been time generally, and there being so many games. I played Pillars of Eternity and Tyranny, Disco Elysium. So I played a bunch of new isometric RPGs, but not Pathfinder. I heard one of them, at least, is crazy long, right? I think I saw one on a list of the longest video games. Sorry, I had to pull the curtains because the sun's crazy right now. And now I got blinded. It was overcast earlier, which meant that the sun through the clouds give just some extra nice light, but now can't see much. I'm making a game for my 40K Road Trader now, actually. Oh, cool. That's really exciting. Like the Warhammer IP is very widely shared, and like I feel like there are so many Warhammer games, very hit or miss. Like I tried Inquisitor Martyr, and it just felt a little bland and not very impressive. The Fat Shark games, cat hairs, have been fun. And I love Total War. Oh, 80 to 150 hours, that's crazy. Oh my god. I'm an adult. I don't maybe I need to stop like having studies and jobs and stuff. Like in a way it's lovely when if there's a super long game that is high quality and just it's long but high quality, that should be awesome, I guess. But often just get stressed out by how much I like genres that have very long games. Open world Malifaux game, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Or like turn-based tactical RPG could be fun, cool too. Or just some sort of survival horror in Malifaux would be amazing as well. There are a lot of cool stuff to dream a little bit about. Total Warhammer is insanely good. Wrath of the Righteous, I would put Farmer House in over several different places doing different romances and mythic choices. Cool. Is Wrath like Pathfinder 2? Sort of. I played amounts of Total War Warhammer 1 and 2. Amounts. Plural hours. You can become a lich. Yeah, that is pretty cool. That's cool. I kind of miss the campaign system for Malifaux. I think it would be really fun to have that again, although maybe a little more story focused somehow. Games are based on Pathfinder 1, so a lot more rule heavy, but probably feels something for anyone who knows D&D 3.5. Yeah. I've kind of heard that Pathfinder is a bit like, if you didn't like the direction Dungeons and Dragons was heading in, you can go to Pathfinder, which is kind of like that Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 and works on that direction instead. I don't really have an opinion. I haven't played enough pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons to really know what to think. Realized that maybe pen and paper is not my cup of tea. But I want to try more. I love it conceptually, and I just finished recently a illustrating an expansion book to a certain not weird related pen and paper RPG, where I illustrated almost all of it. That expansion. Looking forward to showing that off to you when it's released. But I realized that since I don't really get pictures in my head the way people usually do, I think maybe that makes me a little restless when I don't have any visual stimuli. Thinking about narrative mode for Mile for the Other, it would be fun to take a crew and play them while they level up and go along a storyline. Yeah, they had that in second edition build. Yeah, Pearls. Yeah, Through the Breach and Malifaux mashup could be really fun. Now, yeah, there was a campaign set in Malifaux second edition. It was perhaps not necessarily very story focused, but the progression system was kind of similar to Mordheim. The problem is that you could like break the game super easily. So that was a lot of fun. You could creating broken combinations, but it's not necessarily what one might want. But I suppose one can always like decide with the gaming group that you're not trying to break stuff. It can be easier said than done, though. But I think a version of that with some more focus on storytelling would be really cool, in my opinion. Pearls, oh shit, you have a Fantasia too? Yeah, I believe I do. Like, I never knew that was a thing until, I don't know, a year ago or something. Always thought when people said they could see something clearly in their head, it was just something they said. But no, my mind is just void, black, dark. I don't visualize in that way. And people have said, but isn't that strange because you draw so much, you even draw for a living partly. Like, well, I don't know. I thought it was like that for everyone. Maybe in some strange way, it's one of the reasons why I like to draw. Seems like I do decently anyway. So do you have a Fantasia? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. I think it's a bit of a strange word because it doesn't mean you don't have any capabilities for fantasizing. Yeah, me too. And probably it's a bit of a spectrum. I think from what I've gathered, it seems like a lot of people probably have that without knowing, but also some people have pretty limited capabilities to visualize, whereas others can see things clear as day. So I don't think it's very binary. But no, I can sometimes maybe feel like I see a flicker of a flicker, sort of, if that makes sense. Like the shadow of a shadow or something. Sounds really deep and edgy, but like, I feel like it's sort of, I don't visualize images. I imagine perhaps movements, sort of. Feel experiences rather than visualize them. Yeah, same. If I'm trying to visualize what I'm want to draw, how to paint something, I don't like. I think I'm pretty decent at colors, but I don't visualize them. I just reason or get some sort of feeling for it. Yeah, it's very interesting. This stuff. It's a little sad that if you think about like how I can not can't get an image of my loved ones, but maybe just have different perks instead. Not even when I dream. Me neither. I feel like I think I dream that I see things. Like obviously, I feel like I see things when I dream, but I don't think I visualize them. So I don't think I see them. Mm. Yeah, they should all send more selfies, right? Also, a perk when people say, I can't unsee this. Guess what? I can unsee anything. Right? Guess maybe that's why I never got why people were so sensitive talking about things that are disgusting but not visible and not here. Like maybe those people can see them very clearly, or maybe they're just silly. I don't know. Well, this ah painting faces always been so easy, hasn't it? Farm and hunting village. Yeah, that could help you see things as well, right? What do you know? Mm, I'm actually very sensitive to such things. Like, I think at least, like if I've seen a video of surgery, I tend to get a little. I think maybe I'm just scared of surgery. I tend to get a little nauseous. but I've not seen cow insides other than maybe, well, on TV, maybe. On TV. When did you realize you have a fantasia? A fantasia. It's very difficult to pronounce. Don't know how to say it. Like a year ago? Oh, yeah, me too. Wait, no. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah. I think it's part of the reason why it takes a little longer for people's faces to stick. Like, I'll have no problem recognizing you if we've hung out for a few times, generally. But if we're not close and have never really hung out more than very rarely, I generally get pretty confused, especially when I don't expect to see someone. It's difficult to place. Kim says, same. Maybe the farm thing? Or all of it. So, yeah, struggling a little to face, but we'll get there. Maybe I should. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very difficult because we just tend to assume that things are the same for everyone. Goes for a lot of things. I was struggling with painting because of it, and especially picking colors. It's very interesting. And for some, I wonder why I'm good at, because I feel like picking colors is one of my strengths. I'm not trying to celebrate myself here, but I wonder why. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I'm a robot. Maybe I'm a replicant. I actually had a friend who's colorblind and works with in part with graphics design, and nobody ever noticed. Knowing better by knowing what works in theory. Practice a lot. Maybe since I since ever since I was little, I've been very fixated with colors. So I think a lot about colors when I look at things. Strangely enough, I'm still very bad at remembering what like eye color people have. Not my close ones, mind you, but yeah. Maybe I'm just not as interested in people. Autism alert. I did hear recently from a friend that another friend asked if maybe I was a little autistic. And well, at first I was really confused because, as far as I know, I'm not. But the more I've thought of it, the more I kind of understand I might come across as such. Some dude's yelling a lot outside. We're loud, at least. Got diagnosed with both autism and ADD this year, actually. Oh, I see. Hope that helps you. I have no such diagnosis, and I don't know. My sister half jokingly said recently that she thinks 80% of our family is autistic. She certainly meant to place me in that 80%. It was like one of those half jokes. I don't actually think I would be diagnosed with it, though. But it's not like I really mind if people think I am. It's all a spectrum, isn't it? Well, that's nice. Someone in my class actually said they probably a majority of us are autistic, and I was like, huh. I don't know. Like, I don't want to appropriate some sort of diagnosis. I don't even think, yeah. But I know I can come across as a little peculiar, and just embrace your inner Luna Lovegood or something. Geek. I'll take some day off so I can come to the Swedish Nationals. Pretty much decided. Wow, that's really nice to hear. Yay! I'm glad you're coming. I'm excited for it. And yeah, it'll be great to have you. Also got confirmed that we'll get extra. Well, we're gonna get some prize support, so that's always very fun. Prize support from Weird, that is. So Tiri, which I'm painting now, will be an award of some sort. Mm. However, there will be other prizes as well. It's totally fine if you don't have the energy to compete. It'll be great having you there, and I don't feel like you should feel pressured to feel like if you want to play in the tournament, it is also okay to like resign or take a break and not play a game or two. You're not ruining anything. You don't have to feel like you need to necessarily play all the games. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I think maybe I'll soon leave Tiri's face and skin alone for a while and continue working on the cloth. Certainly not done with the face, but that's cool. My cat is trying we've been having conversations, so in that case, it's a very recent development. There is sound. Now we can hear you. Okay. That was a glitch in the matrix. In case that was missed, I'm good. How are you guys? Thanks for rating. Muted since the raid. Oh, raid made playword panic. Oh no, we're raided. Elinore needs to behave. Let's mute her. That's fine. Okay. I didn't say anything important. The lack of sound. Oh, okay. Well, I think the only thing I did was asking, how are people? And my usual grandma-esque comment of how funny it is that it's called a raid when it's a positive thing. Makes me feel very old when I say that. So we are painting Tiri, the architect from the Malifaux Outcasts and Explorer Society faction. So 2 factions. In old-fashioned Scandinavia, raids included ships and access. Yeah. It did. Loud screams. Yeah, maybe it's just like my heritage being like, very defensive when the raid is coming. So in this box, you also get the Castora miniature post-hangover pizza, where he's no longer starving, but is still very much scary and gross. And you got the Unseelie engine, very strange contraption carried by a robot, Atlas style. And Tiri, the architect. Now, I don't really know the story of these because I haven't read. I'm behind on the stories. But she is, from what I know, part of an old, at least nowadays, nomadic people. Which is from Malifaux originally. Keyword is bygone, so they're from a bygone era. It's a lark. Totally fine. Don't starve to death. We don't want that. Kim, was there people called the Oma or Oma, or am I just confused? Oa. Awa, Oa, something. Eua. Aua. 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 Sorry. Aua. The awa. Today on Play Weird, trying to make Elinore able to pronounce things. Kind of fae that lived in the desert and did cool tech things. See, that much I kind of gathered. Well, not that they were fae, but desert tech things. Bygone era. It's kind of what I... And they've got some cool gameplay thing where they try to juggle technology and tradition, which is pretty fun. She seems like a lot of fun to play. Yeah, she seems like a lot of fun. Until the fire tyrant got mad and turned their cities to glass and made them slowly burn up from inside. Sharoof, you bastard. Did you have to? Did you really have to do that? Turn their cities to glass. Now that's cool. That's cool stuff. You might be right there. I don't know. Original inhabitants not created by tyrants. Yeah, I think so too. Did the tyrants create a lot of Neverborn, or did they like change them? The tyrants. I am the tyrant of this house, not giving kitty cat enough food to live. Or so it said. Yeah, there's a cat here. She's like tried to burglar her food dispenser, didn't work. And now she's here complaining. It might be she thinks I'm boring. I don't know. Kitty, do you want to be on camera? No? Oh, she just left. She probably thinks she needs treats all the time. She'll get more food in 45 minutes. We haven't had the food dispenser for long, but it's got timed intervals or specific times where it feeds her. And she hasn't quite learned them yet. I think she's starting to learn. So she gets fed 4 times now a day, and I usually fed her about 5 to 6 before that. She's not quite adjusted yet. 15? 15? Kitty? Oh, she just, whenever I move to try and pick her up, she just really hopes really hard that I need to follow her out of the room and feed her. So she just leaves whenever I move to try and pick her up. So what happened on your stream? You painting anything? I'm not sure. I feel like I probably did too harsh of a transition here. So we're going to cover up almost all of this with this paint is not very recovering. It's Karak Stone from Citadel. B gonna prime some minis, which is this month's work done. Well. Hard work. Priming some Nephilim. Finished a warmer mini called Broodlord. Oh, Broodlords are cool. Was it fun to paint? Nephilim are kind of the Malifaux equivalent of a Tyranid. They're hungry. They're winged, generally. And they're very, very scary and will rip your face off. They can speak, though. Started with a Hellboy miniature. That seems like a lot of fun. Where is it from? Is it like an official Hellboy miniature or... Okay, I have earlier in the stream been like wondering why I didn't do this as at least one subassembly. So I'm really kind of suffering that consequence right now, but we'll manage. A steel form from a store. Oh, okay, right, cool. Do you have your own 3D printer? There is a tournament happening in Malmö, in the southern part of Sweden, August 12th, run by the lovely Henrik Jönsson, which I am planning to attend. And if you're into the idea of playing Malifaux in the southern part of Sweden, it's a one-day tournament. It's always a lot of fun. There tends to be a bunch of Danes and a bunch of Swedes from generally the southern parts of Sweden. I try to be there as well. Who am I kidding? Gothenburg is almost the southern part of Sweden. It's always a lot of fun, so I recommend that. And 3D printer friend printed this miniature for me. Awesome. It's very handy to have that 3D printer friend. I don't know what happened to my speech. I'm a little tired today. I see it struggle with words, but I think I am able to make myself understandable enough. Understandable. Words are difficult sometimes. Word salad. See, I know I'm gonna get a really fun 3D printed model. I'm gonna get a goose hydra or a hydra goose, and it's kind of what it sounds like. It's a goose, but it's a hydra. And if you're like me, I mean, it sounds just like the best thing ever, kind of, doesn't it? Yeah, if you Google goose hydra, you'll probably find it. So it's a hydra. Well, no, it's a goose with several heads. Scariest creature imaginable. Oh no, you're hungry too? Yeah, that happens. I'll allow people feeding themselves. Lurking is fine. Leaving is also fine. Generous like that. Free will and stuff. Yeah, she's always hungry. Pretty much. Tiri. Elinore, what's your favorite faith deck? Paint deck? Faith deck? Hmm. My favorite faith deck. I painted a few myself, but I think my favorite faith deck is the first edition one that came in all the faction colors. Do you know of it? I don't know if it has a name, but it's the Malifaux first edition Fate deck, and I think it's a cool looking deck, but it's also just very nostalgic for me because I've been playing this game since 2011 or something, and or at least I had miniatures back then. But I think, yeah, I think I had my Malifaux demo in 2011. So that's probably my favorite Fate deck. Although there are a lot of cool ones. I also really like the retro Fate deck. But mine got very worn. Do you have a favorite Fate deck? I think I used to have like a blue and a red first edition Fate deck, but I didn't use sleeves, so I played them so much they broke. And but a friend was kind enough to gift me his Fate deck, or one of them. So I've got a like an outcast one now. What would you call the color? It's like yellow or mustard or something. Like the tarot most. Tarot Fate deck is really cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
My least favorite was the Puppet Wars Fate deck because it was unreadable to people who weren't. If it wasn't your Fate deck, it was very hard to read. Might be that there's a newer Puppet Wars Fate deck though. Might have been an old one. It looked adorable, but like as an opponent, you're like, yeah, I'm sure you flipped a 6. I can't tell, but if you say so. The Orphan Fate deck. Not sure. I think it was just called a Puppet. It's an old one. I don't remember it being called the Orphan Fate deck, but I don't know. Maybe. Like, I know Weird has produced quite a few. I've given a couple of mine away. In a way, I almost kind of regret it because it's nice to hoard things and have like a little collection, but make people a little bit happy with giving them a Fate deck, then that's good too. I think I still have one of the arcane Fate decks, I think they're called, and I've got a few the other side Fate decks which you got in like the Allegiance boxes. And that old first edition deck, which I really like. Also pretty fond of the Chibi deck. I drew Outcast Chibis for a friend. Not something I can do a lot because it takes a lot of time. But okay, I feel like I've been dragging around this cocky paint for a long time now. Got 15 Fate decks every time you need some more to spend for free shipping. Okay, add another Fate deck then. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should do that more often. For some reason, Marcus Alpha has been like impossible to get hold of in Sweden, but this summer I actually got in stock. Like, I don't think Marcus Alpha, the Survival of the Fittest box, has not been available in Sweden as far as I know until this summer, which is crazy. But I finally got one ordered, and soon I will not have to proxy Marcus Alpha anymore. Just perhaps my favorite master, so that's good. I'm excited to paint that miniature. Right in time before some bear action in Baldur's Gate 3, I guess. do you mix up which fate text you use? Like, do you shake it up a bit, or do you tend to use the tarot one all the time? Or I like to switch it up a bit. Marcus is Arcanist Dr. Doolittle, right? Is Dr. Doolittle the one with the animals? If then, yes. Yes, I suppose. He also likes to mutate himself, though. He likes to mutate animals and himself. A little problematic, maybe. Like most things in Malifaux. Dark, dangerous world. He improves when God decides. And the Malifaux designs, whoever did those. I'm not trying to be religious here, I'm just joking around. I just turn into Disclaiminor. That tends to be when sometimes I turn into Disclaiminor and I want to put disclaimers on everything so that nobody misunderstands me and that everything is all right. I usually use one of the less liked ones so the condition of tarot stays near mint. That's reasonable. Might I suggest perhaps procuring, buying a second tarot fate deck to play with? If possible. Maybe next order. I'm not trying to talk you into buying stuff here. Buy stuff from Weird. Your life will be more complete, happier, sexier, and a lot of other adjectives. If it's still available, yeah, I don't know. I hope so. Fully grown adult. You know how to spend my money. Yeah. I had some little bank hiccups. I'm like right now I'm very like, where's my money? I wasn't hacked or anything. It's just some income that is slow and getting to me, which is annoying. Just one of the things that kind of stresses me out a little bit. It should just resolve itself soon, but maybe some off-white paint to mix in with a Kark stone. We can further brighten this miniature. Very excited to start experimenting with Nephilim skin tones. Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. I know I painted my old bikini Nikima in that sort of Nephilim blue, grayish blue color. But the last Nikima I painted, the one on stream, title Nikima I painted more sort of magenta-ish. You were going for the blue tones, right? If I recall correctly. Let's do like a pale base overlay with purple or magenta contrast and layer and highlight over that, and having the Kima be the same skin tone as her brood. Yeah, that does sound good. Wait, but did it used to be like the tops were kind of purple and then they got more and more blue as they grew? Was that how they've been painted earlier? Obviously, you can just do whatever you want. Just wondering if that was. Yeah, I think so too, right? I kind of think, yeah. I prefer Nekima to not have a human skin tone. I always thought it a little bit weird that, like, Lilith didn't make too much sense to me, like how she imitates humans. I mean, I guess she infiltrated us, but she also kind of looked like a visual KR rock star or something. All Nekima orange? Maybe she was. Like the first edition one. Also, with how much Lilith seemed to hate humans, it didn't quite make sense, but maybe self-loathing was a theme there. I would really like it if in a future expansion or in Malifaux 4, Lilith came back, but turned undead. From her Kypharan or Nytheran prison. And there was a conflict between her and Nekima again. Because from what I've understood, she's kind of, that prison heals you. Sort of. It saves your life, but you'll turn undead. Because that's what happened to Titania, wasn't it? And with Lilith hating undead, be a nice little self-loathing, self-destructive thing. I really like that. Continued Nephilim civil war. So when the return keyword was shown, I really thought that meant that Lilith would come back. But I guess others can return too. Really like the cave Nephilim. They're aesthetically very cool. Blade to the Grey Spirit, isn't it? Maybe?
Maybe it is. Okay, so not quite orange. Female mature Nephilim would be fun, yeah. I agree. That does sound like a lot of movement, yeah. Nephilim keyword got big. I kind of want that keyword in my life too. So many things. So many things to collect. First game in ages against Eric and Vessel a few weeks ago. Nice. Was it fun? I bet it was fun. Oh no, what did I do there? No. It looked nice, and then I screwed it up a little. Why did I do that? So much fun. Awesome. Was it perhaps Nephilim against Gremlins? Eric is our reigning Swedish champion, the king in the north. King in the north. At least until September, we might have a new regent. Exciting. Glad you had fun. Nikima cleaned out clam pits in one activation. Ouch! That's harsh. The whole family? Fisher's family murdered in the bayou. What a tragedy. How could you do such a thing? The angler keyword. Right, that's the keyword.
Even the word angler gives me spooky memories of the game Inscription, a card game I don't want to say too much about, but it's a digital card game, sort of genre bending. I can really recommend. Gremlins taste good. Tastes a bit like applesauce. Maybe. So one of my sisters got married last Saturday. And it was such a good wedding. Admittedly, I haven't been to a lot of weddings, strangely. But a highlight was certainly seeing my sister's son. There's a lot of kids yelling. My sister's son in a kilt. Kids just screaming outside. I can send you a pic later if you want. Just a tiny little human running around in a kilt. So cute. During the actual ceremony, he also said, "No, no," which was really adorable in the timing. Like he really didn't approve. Uh, Maid of honor, awesome. Yeah, I was a bridesmaid. I've not been before. I was like I don't. I haven't been to a lot of weddings. I haven't thought about weddings a lot, but I was really touched on this one. But I had to really like ask and look up like, okay, so I'm gonna be a bridesmaid. What does that mean? It went well. It's cool you got to be a maid of honor. Maid of honor. Stand there and look pretty. Yeah, I also got to hoe flowers, fetch mom, uh, sharpen pencils, decorate a little bit on the bachelorette party. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it. You know, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I wonder what Malifaux weddings are like. Like, we generally hope for good weather. Malifaux, maybe they kind of pray for not Nephilim attacks. Oh, that's good. What models were you fishing for? I need to paint my black crab shaman. I'm gonna do instead of a black blood shaman. For the beautiful little mermaid crew. It's like, please don't let any big Nephilim swoop down and grab me. And the bride is like, please let. Yeah. I feel like getting married in Malifaux is dangerous. Where would you go on honeymoon? Innocence? The sea? Kim, where do you go on honeymoon in Malifaux? Do they? Do they go on honeymoon? We're asking the right questions. This is me, Earth sign. What an obvious genius answer. Yes. Yeah, you'd go Earth side, wouldn't you? For Gilgris 2 days. Oh. Steampunk scoundrels often ask odd universe questions like that. Yeah. They're important. So I've been working my way up to off-white, which is a tiny bit of Carrickstone. Maybe not the most exciting thing to see, but I think the more I get these colors in place, the easier it'll be to further work on her skin. Maybe we don't have to do a ton with it, but tighten it up a little bit, the face paint job, and this picture of the Femnef in the latest Series Breach book that I really love. I'd like to have all of that, please. Can't remember the name though. You're just asking for models here? Kim, give us all the miniatures we ever asked for.
Yeah. I kind of need a mermaid with a harpoon gun, or maybe a diver with a harpoon gun, kind of like sort of like a certain miniature. I think. I what I'm saying is I need to make myself some sort of hay redden counts as for the deepest depths crew. Should be doable. I should also get more fish miniatures so I can have like corrupted fish. Vicious gangs of Malifaux piranhas. Speaking of vicious gangs, there's some neighborhood kids have asked me what I work with, and I was then uh, deep into illustration work, so I showed them some stuff, and they were like, "You draw? You're a drawer. You're a drawer." But in Swedish, they call me a ritare, and then they asked for drawings. But I've been too stressed to make any, and often they've been seeing me around where I've been running around with a suitcase, traveling, being like, "Where's my drawing?" Just yelling at me. uh, Annoyed that I'm just always running off, not giving them drawings. Finally did give them some drawings from a sketchbook the other day after I ran into them with a suitcase. And they were almost fighting between themselves to get the drawings they wanted, and pulling my sketchbook off my hands almost. It was they were wilder than I thought they'd be. You'll have to show me pictures of that, Pearls. Of the mentioned Nephilims. Hey,
If anyone was worried, my cat just got more food. Half-blood. We don't mind half-bloods. Do 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 do. I shall look at the aforementioned cool Nephilim artwork in an hour or so. Thank you. Do, 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 do. Right. Did you move or something so you're not living close by them anymore? Your old playgroup? You mentioned playing a vassal. I'm sorry if you've said before, I can be a little forgetful at times. Dalarna. All right. Yeah, I think you've said that before. Right. Are there any players there? Can, of course, be stressful sometimes finding new ones, especially when you like the last one so much. For some reason, I kind of want to paint orange eyes. Feel like that contrasts well with her skin tone. Maybe pop orange eyes. like burning orange eyes would generally contrast with a lot of people's skin tones, but fantasy creatures, yay. Or should I say fantasy people? Very dude bro-esque. Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry you don't feel comfortable with them. Curse of Truth. Oh, is he still burning? That's tragic and sad. Sad. Oh no. Now I feel bad. Are they still cursed? Can't they make a new home in the cities of glass? Glass cities seem like it could be cool. Could be cool. Or the surviving ones still burn, fighting the curse however they can. They burn from the inside? Seems rough. Hmm. Looking forward to reading/listening to Malibu stories above the hour. Tiri and friends. So I painted the eyes first with Mephiston red, then with Fire Dragon Bright, and now I'm trying to do tiny dots of Vallejo Golden Yellow. To really make those nice pop. We could also do a little bit of a subtle glow effect on her side of her nose.
what's it called? The miniature, the First Light. That's a really cool, interesting miniature. For her crew. Interesting apparel. Sorry. Okay, so we also need to paint her staff and her robot friend, and, well, to be fair, we need to tidy up some things as well, but and with them being nomadic in nature, probably they don't have the like spotless clothes, right? Some subtle little roughness. I think I want to paint this robot friend, bronze or brass. And I think I'm going to do treatment metallics this time. I mix it up a bit with that. We can actually leave in some places some of that greenish gray undercoat showing, because it'll, and some cracks, because it'll look a little dusty. Scars of Sheriff. Yeah, I do recall that. Just didn't know. And that's really very good when you can get storytelling like that without even having read the story. Like there's story in the
ability names. So I knew that, but I did not know that they were still burning. Poor people. It's good. It suck. So I feel like bronze looks pretty cool with the blue skin of Tiri. Hi, Kyle. That's a very cute dinosaur you got there, Kyle. How are you doing? Would be fun to run Tiri versus Sonya, the enemies of Sharuf versus the wielder of flames. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it certainly would be. I think neither of them nobody likes Sharuf. It'd be very interesting for sure. Huh. I mean, Sonya is a horrible person. I don't know much about Tiri, but yeah, I'm kind of rooting for her. I like Sonya as a character. Yeah, she's scary. Tiri looking great. Thank you. That's nice to hear. Sometimes there's this. I think we spoke a lot of that, or I think at least was it Guslado, or was it at least Kim spoke of that earlier? The part where a miniature just looks a bit like shit. You had a name for that phenomenon. Sonya is the worst, like Raspy. I love them both. I might actually change this parts of the staff to silver or steel later, but I'm gonna brush some bronze on it first. Chrysalis of Pain, right. I do not recall why it was called that, but yes, the Chrysalis of Pain. I feel like I was brushing away for a long time on her skin and on her cloth. Yeah, it just looked like shit. Oh wait, she's got a metal arm? That's awesome. Kiki references. Super smooth. Some problematic women. I can fix them. I think if you fix Sonya, so basically what you've been doing all along. Yeah. Well, Ray fixed Kylo Ren, right? So how are you doing, Kyle? Yeah, fixing. I think Raspy's is the more fixable, actually. It's the two nightmarish women, because she eats people. That's not very nice. But I feel like that's like living in super harsh conditions and eating people. Still harsh. And she preys upon minors and people. Minors, not minors, mind you.
but I feel like chasing down minorities to turn them into mindless thralls is worse. Right? Bit of a Hitler-Stalin conversation here, perhaps. More attractive? Well, at least she had, I mean, Sonya's had some burn scar. People can be beautiful too. She doesn't have a very beautiful soul. Had a very poetic Malifaux demo game of like 40 Soul Stones once, where I think I've spoken of it before on the stream. It was really funny that all miniatures on both sides died. That was kind of poetic. The last thing that happened was Sonya and Raspy staring at each other in contempt. I think Sonya blasted Raspy to death, and then she died from burning, ironically. That was a lot of fun. Every miniature on the board died. We played without schemes, so it was a demo game, so I guess that made things a little bit more killy. Okay, I'll paint the orb steel too. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I played Raspy and no, wait, sorry. I played Sonya. It's missing so much of the keyword. Keyword's not very good. So that doesn't have to be a problem. In my opinion. Totem is good to have. Yeah. Quellers. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not the greatest Sonya player. I know some have success with her. I haven't had much success with her. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but I don't think the keyword's all that good in general. I think she's held back a little bit by like the witchlings don't have free actions, which is sad. And she doesn't have a very good henchman. So I think a lot of people go quite a lot out of keyword. I know the quellers were changed, but I still don't think they're good. Unfortunately, doesn't mean they're unplayable.
But yeah, everyone should just take this with a grain of salt because I'm a bad Sonya player. Most of Guild. There's a lot of good Guild stuff nowadays. Yeah, Higgs bows are good. I've only played them in Cavalier, but they're good. They're good. Yeah, I think they're probably among the better Witch Hunter models. So I would like to try them out with Sonya. They are a bit glass cannony, but very mobile and very deadly. And like getting extra attacks with your master whilst shooting with a minion it can be really, really, really deadly and scary. Okay, so I'm going to do some washing. I'm gonna do Reichland Flesh Shade on the bronze. Purple works very well as well on bronze, I think, in my opinion, rather. I'm going for a warm, yeah, warm purple is really nice on bronze, but doing Reichland Flesh Shade here. Could maybe add a little bit of purple later. Let's try. Spilling over a little bit on the steel sphere here. Doesn't have to be too bad because can, depending on how it looks, it can kind of reflect reflections. The female Domador model. Right, we're both Hoffman enthusiasts. Yeah, I mostly played Hoffman too. Like I started out the edition with Sonya because I wanted something simple to play. She's strange keyword. Like some monsters have a lot of models that do solve different problems, and I don't feel like Sonya has that. Her keyword just, they all kind of do the same, not the same thing, but a lot of stuff does similar things. Like they shoot, and some of them slap, and so it's very limited. But I'm ranting about them a bit quite often. All right, yeah. Right, I've still not painted that Melissa model. And I don't have the Robot Dragon Peacekeeper. That's a cool one. Archer Melissa, yeah. Didn't quite like her as much as the other stuff in the box, to be honest. Yeah, it could be good if instead of 3 similar minions, you get like one of each. Although I can see that being a little more expensive arts-wise. But yeah, like a lot of the time you just use one of each or 2 of each thing. So having 3 riot breakers is probably not necessary, for example. But maybe one day you'll just find this awesome miniature to use for their hunters. Or maybe there's an STL out there somewhere. There's an STL out there somewhere for everyone. Yeah, that would be nice. A Guardian Hunter, a Riot Breaker. Something like that. Or like a Warden. But like, really cool models nonetheless. I think you could maybe like convert one of the crossbow dudes to some sort of prison warden and use it as a warden. Could be cool. I think the direwolves are a little too heroic in scale, but it might work. Yeah, maybe with some conversion. They're cool miniatures. Maybe it would work. Ah, no, me neither. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I only got the core box, so to speak. Gen Con's coming up real fast. That nightmare box looks really cool. Did you see that? Ghostly Grandpa. Sneaky, manipulative, probably advisors. Easily get, if you wash this, it's very easy to get some wash caught here. So I might create some goop, goop-de-goop. Change the crossbow to a big sword and patch up the shield to be solid. Bang Guardian. You know, that is, I feel like that's, how didn't I think of that? So obvious. Genius. Maybe I need to get one of those boxes and make a Guardian and then a Warden out of them. It's a I can see if I can find you a link. Do, 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 do.
The Reap and Sow box counts as Jedsa. So it's the first Explorers Nightmare box, which is exciting and cool. And I think it looks really good. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. Have fun gaming. Do, 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 do. Actually, kind of forgot it was a Jedsa box, so I looked it up. Just remembered it was really cool, undead, ghostly stuff. So some Celerum highlighting the stuff. Along this line, because I figure that's where the brightest part would be. At least it looks good to me. I'm doing some horizontal highlights here as well. And we can do another highlight underneath, slightly less bright. Maybe one there. Ghostly lamplighters in that nightmare box are so cool. Begging to get some object source lighting on there. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Whew. Oops. Accidentally went out of camera there. Sorry. It's always totally fine to remind me if I accidentally paint stuff off camera. It's an easy mistake to make when you're streaming for a while. Excuse. which one's your favorite spilled paint pot? Taking a bit of a shadow down the middle. Actually kind of want to get a little bit of Stalwart Knight or the Coach. Yeah, they're really cool. Very cool. Hey, Zipkin, where did I put the purple wash? There. Let's do a little bit of a purple wash in some areas. Bronze. The bronze. Bill says, I'm trying to finish up my Lady Justice crew before Gen Con because I'm coming home with more stuff from Weird. Oh, wow, that purple wash looks really good on metallic. Thank you. And yeah, that's wise. Are you going to Gen Con then? Yeah, I feel purple wash looks really nice on bronze. Really make it look rich or vivid or some other adjective. Last time I used this wash, though, I got those white patches in the recesses, which was really annoying. I think I hope me shaking it a lot helps them this time, though. It'll be my first con. Awesome! That's exciting. Cool. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. I feel like it could be quite overwhelming, but also overwhelmingly fun. Back and forth about signing up for doing Malfa demos, but decided against it since I'm still starting with few rules. It's your own train. Yeah, see, terrain rules can be tricky sometimes. In a lot of games, I feel. I just realized I made a slight mistake, but I can do that. Probably deal with that. She has this cloth attached to her wrist.
driving instead of flying, so I can just hop in the car and head back to the hotel if I need a break. That's nice. I feel I might easily get overwhelmed. Like sensory overload. It would be cool to go to Gen Con sometime. Maybe I'm gonna be rich in the future. It'd be awesome. Maybe I don't need to be rich. How long of a drive is it for you? Nine hours. It's a long drive. Big country, that US. Big one. Maybe it'll be a fun road trip. Do-do. Better rail system would be fun to take a train, but it all takes so damn long. The trains don't always work very well in Sweden either. Ugh. There's a lot of issues going up to my sister's wedding. While I was going there a whole bunch of days earlier, so it wasn't stressful like that, but our trip got much longer than it was supposed to. Theoretically, I kind of like going by train. It just seems to be a lot of delays. And annoying stuff a little too often. $23-hour train, holy shit. Yeah, that's not realistic. Is it so? Yeah, I guess a lot of swapping trains. A lot of stuff. Yeah, that can be a hindrance. I know. Like one of my sisters lives in Glasgow, and the buses, maybe not all, hashtag not all Glasgow buses, but the buses there, the city buses in Glasgow, there are way too many stops. You just never get to your destination. It's a ridiculous amount of stops. All right, I forgot the time. Yeah, we got pretty far on Tiri. I think next time, wow, next stream will be something special, something else. But when we return to Tiri, I think we're going to do some. We're going to highlight the brass. We're going to paint the cables. Maybe do some touch-ups, go over the face and a few details. And I think, yeah, maybe we'll start painting the Unseelie engine as well. Thank you for the stream as well, Spill Paintbot, and thanks everyone else who's been following along this bygone painting stream. And yeah, it's been great fun. No matter if you're lurking or if you're chatting, it's appreciated. And this model is so cool. Amazing. I really like it. It's so dynamic. Yeah, take care, you weirdos. And those are my socials, and that's me signing out. See you later. Bye.